Hey folks, it's Patriot Nurse, and I apologize, I have misplaced my tripod for today's video. You should have seen me try and set this thing up. It was like precariously balanced. Currently, this camera is precariously balanced on an ammo can full of 7.62. So please bear with me for today. What I want to talk about with you guys today is the direction of the country, what role medicine has in all this, and where do we go forward through it. Okay. So a lot of stuff's happened, of course. The Donald got elected, and we have a bunch of butthurt Hillary supporters, you know, breaking shit, of course. And P.S., like, I'm going to use adult language in this. I'm going to be real. I don't really believe in constricting vocabulary just to avoid sensibilities. So I'm going to try and use my wide and colorful vocabulary today with appropriate expletives as the need arises. So we got a bunch of butthurt Hillary supporters who are, of course, you know, breaking shit and lighting stuff on fire with the heavy help of George Soros et al. The nation is not going to unite, okay? It's not going to happen. We have always been divided. We always have been, except whenever we've been confronted with an external attack, okay? And to be honest, the Anti-Federalists knew this. There's a lot of folks right now who are talking about seceding for one different reason or the other. Let them! Let them go! Like, the left wants to go. Portland is doing whatever Portland wants to do, and SoCal's doing whatever SoCal wants to do. Like, the thing is, guys, the Anti-Federalists knew from way back when that this country was going to be a massive land expanse, and that no one central government could adequately serve the needs of all of the populace because they have diverse interests, because the cultures are different, because the way that they sustain themselves and earn a living, or not earn a living in the case of a large percentage of the left coast, that is different across different parts of the electorate. And the Anti-Federalists, especially Richard Henry Lee, and in the Federalist Papers, you can read their positions on these things. They expressed grave concerns that at one point that the federal government would become destructive to the ends of safeguarding the rights of the people, and that really the people have the right in these different constituencies to choose whether or not they want to be part of the union. The union is not this compulsory thing. Despite the verdict of the war between the states, it was never intended to be compulsory. Like, nobody can force you to be part of a marriage, unless, of course, you live in certain parts of the world. In the Western world, post-Enlightenment, nobody can force you or compel you to be part of a contract against your own will, okay? That is the basis of free thought, and that is the basis of our republic, which is a government of the people and the consent of the governed, okay? So in the instance of the left coast, right now, parts of California, NorCal is different, okay? I get that, right? I've taught in Sacramento 3 times, and I've taught in LA, I've taught in Portland, I've taught in Washington 3 times. Like, I get this, okay? And I know that there are good people here, but you guys, we have to understand something, okay? If the left coast decides that they want to leave, and like all of their crazies that are out there, the duty of the United States citizenry at this point is, all right, go, like, good riddance, good wishes, whatever, bye. I promise to miss you if you promise to leave. The country right now is not going to unite under the Donald. It wasn't going to unite if Hillary was elected. That we're past the point of uniting. We have a large percentage of the electorate at this point that, certainly in the case of California with Prop 63 in this election a few days ago, has voted consistently to strip basic rights away from their citizens. They can stand up there all day long and be like, yay for LGBT, yay for this, that, and the other. But you know what happened? Prop 63 passed in California, and 62% of the electorate in California voted and thought, by the way, that it's kosher to strip people of their rights to purchase ammo without a background check. You have to have a background check now to purchase ammo, as well as not being able to legally own magazines of a capacity, a fighting capacity, a real capacity over 10 rounds. Like, come on. So the country is not going to unite here. We have fundamental differences about how we view right and wrong, what our world philosophy is. The country is divided, and there's no point in trying to make a marriage of enemies work at this point. Oh, you're saying enemies. Yes, the libtards in California, they are your enemy. Do you know why they're your enemy? Because they and their government serve as a launching pad for all these terrible laws that infect the rest of the nation. And I, for one, as an East Tennessean, am very tired of having to live my life as a result of 20% of the electorate, which is California, by the way. California constitutes almost a fifth of the total votes necessary for someone to become president of the United States, which means that by default, 20% of your electorate is going to vote for a socialist no matter what the platform is. That it is what it is. So in the case of them saying, you know, we want to leave, we want to go, all right, bye-bye. The rest of the country is predominantly red. The rest of the country, not to like feed into the left-right paradigm, but the bottom line is more people than not in this nation by county map voted that they didn't want hardcore socialized healthcare, more so than it already is, by the way. Most people in this country do not want to be ruled by a tyrant. They don't want to have their gun rights stripped away. They're tired of this PC bullshit correct language. They're over it, okay? So trying to force people to cohabitate in a house where they have completely different perspectives is not going to work, okay? It was never intended to work. From the beginning of this nation, secession has been a right, all right? And there's a lot of people who, they're not even leftists. There are a lot of states, for instance, Texas is one of them. People are tired of being ruled by a tyrannical and oppressive federal government. The Donald being elected, I think, maybe buys us a few years, but the fundamentals of the economy are still jacked up. Donald getting in is not going to change the Federal Reserve over. That's part one. Part two, we have a ton of people in this country who are not Americans, okay? That is not going to change overnight. We have people in this nation who are actively voting against the founding principles and against the Constitution, against the rights that are enumerated, not given to us. The Constitution didn't give us rights. Our rights were given to us by God. The Constitution only said, oh yeah, that's right, they exist. Let's write them down. That's all it is. When you have a large percentage of the people in this nation who are actively voting against that, there is no reconciliation at this point. So what are you going to see? You're going to see riots. You're going to see breakdown in rule of law. Some of these people in Chicago, like Crook County, Illinois, breaking shit and beating people up. There has been so much support from the executive branch under the Obama administration for anti-rule of law, for thuggery, for the mongrels of society to have their way and to repeatedly abuse law-abiding people. The country you're seeing right now is not divided as a result of Donald Trump. We've already been divided, but the country is in the shambles that it's in right now, really because of the past 16 years. Under Bush, we have the Patriot Act. Under Obama, you have, God, what do we not have? The nation is emaciated because of 16 years of executive branches that held complete disregard for the Constitution, separation of powers, and limited powers. And this thing is accelerating. So what I think this means, on one hand, am I relieved that Hillary did not get in? Oh, you betcha. Hillary was not going to bring peace, love, and all that. Nobody believes that. If you're watching this, the chances that you believe that are little. Hillary was only going to accelerate the constitutional crisis and the balkanization of the United States. But notice I said accelerate, not incept, okay? This thing is already coming. A president in office that is anti-establishment in a different path, that may pump the brakes on this thing, but the electorate is already divided. And they're not going to unite. Okay, they're not. The left, the people that are governed by Alinsky's rules for radicals, the people who see Che Guevara as a hero, Marx is just misunderstood. Those people are the cancer on this nation, and they've been given a free rein to terrorize and to brutalize people for the past 8 years. And it may come to the point where they feel so emboldened that they start to increasingly ratchet up not only their rhetoric, but also their action. And it will be a dark day. The posturing from the left right now is insane. They really do believe that their hours playing video games and their professors, spouting a bunch of bullshit socialist ideology prepares them for an armed revolution. They are sorely mistaken. While Katy Perry and her ilk have been dreaming up new ways to fornicate and spend money, there are those of us in the country who spend our days sending 77 grain projectiles downrange at 600 yards. And they are going to have a very quick awakening if they try and push that. I hope they don't, for the sake of our nation, for the sake of good people who get caught in the crossfire. But you have the rabid mongrels of society right now that are emboldened. And until they are met with consequences, they are going to continue to destroy, but not only property, but the lives of good people everywhere. 62% of the California electorate voted to strip basic defensive rights from people. You have to have a background check now to purchase ammo. In California, okay? I get that there are good people out there, but folks, you are outnumbered 2-1. No one cares what you think out there. And they have progressively strangled you and are suffocating you. I don't know about you guys. I would really prefer not to have to reload a bunch of magazines in the middle of being assaulted, God forbid, by multiple people. 10 rounds is not crap when it comes down to it. Everybody gets first before they get seconds. But 10 rounds goes awful fast in a gunfight. The country is headed for a breakup. I'm not thrilled about it. I would like for it to be peaceable. But given the behavior of the left, isn't it funny how they always seem to fulfill what they accuse the other side of? Isn't it odd? They're violent, they're racist, really, who's burning shit right now? Who's beating people up in the streets for who they voted for? The left are a bunch of hypocrites, man. But if the devil exists, he does come from the left. That's a quote from a friend. I do believe in evil, very much. I also believe in good. The lines between good and evil have never been starker, I would submit, in the history of the world, but not only the world, but with our country as well. Where does medical prep fit into all of this? Friends, you need to be able to take care of people at home. And this isn't me just like doing shameless self-promo. Yeah, I'll do it because I'm a business owner, but folks, these riots, these protests are happening downtown. They are happening in parts of the city. A lot of the major trauma hospitals in the United States and the hospitals that are best equipped to deal with not only traumatic injuries, but also with advanced circumstances, you know, like putting people on vents, etc. A lot of the good ICUs and the quality care facilities in this nation, they are downtown. They are in places where these riots are happening, okay? And spotting the need to get people out ahead of time is going to be critical. Being able to care for people at home instead of taking them into the cities to the ER or whatever, that's also going to be critical, okay? Being self-sufficient as possible is part of this. You know, nobody can take away from you what you can already produce yourself, okay? And I don't know what the future is going to hold for the nation. I am breathing a mild sigh of relief here that Hillary is not president. Actually, a decent sigh of relief, because the Supreme Court, if the Donald decides to, you know, follow with the Supreme Court nominees that he says he's going to, then that would be less terrible, of course, and hopefully a good breath for reinvigoration of the country. But the electorate has not changed, okay? Make no mistake, you know, we did democratically elect an outsider as president, and the Republicans still have control in both houses of Congress, okay? But it doesn't take many rotten apples to spoil a barrel. And the past 8 years has done nothing but add more rotten apples to the barrel and give more legal protection to rotten apples and more support from the Justice Department for rotten apples. These people have gotten very, very used to agitating without consequence. And if Katy Perry and all her little ilk decide that they want an armed revolution, they're going to kick a hornet's nest and be very, very sorry about it. I hope that's not the case, but my money is on that, and we're ready for it. There's a reason why we spend the amount of time slinging projectiles downrange that we do, and it's not so we can be instigators. It's that if a person or a group of people decide that they want to unrighteously escalate things and use force to try and have their way against people, they will regret it. That's the reason for the Second Amendment. Not only to protect from outside invasion, but to protect from violent riots, to protect you from tyranny gone awry from the top down. I hope we don't have to use it. Be able to take care of people at home and be able to meet your needs, your activities of daily living as best as possible by yourself. And these are tempestuous times. Happy Veterans Day, by the way. Happy Veterans Day to all those who served out there. The Marine Corps birthday was yesterday. Semper Fi. The Republic, friends, has gotten a good breath here, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting. We are only as good as our people. Either a sobering or a scary thought. That's all I've got for you guys today. Hope it was helpful for y'all. I'm going to be in Jacksonville, Florida, teaching medical prep next month in December. Full schedule is at the website. I'd love to see you. I'd love to train with you. Be ready. For now, it's Patriot Nurse signing off, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.